Obama is trying to reach out to some people through social media. So he's basically allowing people to ask him questions on YouTube, and based on how popular those questions are, he will decide whether or not he'll answer them. So the most popular question on YouTube to President Obama was a video submitted by someone that is a board member for the Law Enforcement Against Prohibition organization. His name is Stephen Downing. And in the video, he basically wants to talk about the war on drugs. We actually have the question for you, so let's watch.
Mr. President, my name is Stephen Downing. I'm a retired Deputy Chief of Police from the Los Angeles Police Department. From my decades of law enforcement experience, I've come to see our country's drug policies as a failure and a complete waste of criminal justice resources. According to the Gallup poll, the number of Americans who support legalizing and regulating marijuana now outnumber those who support continuing prohibition. What do you say to this growing voter constituency that wants more changes to drug policy than you have delivered in your first term?
All right, so simple question. As I mentioned, it was the most popular question on YouTube. And regardless of how popular it was, and regardless of how much people wanted Obama to at least mention the issue, he refused to talk about it. Something that's even more egregious is the fact that NORML, which is also an anti-prohibition organization, also posted a video on YouTube. And basically, they were endorsing marijuana legalization. And it was flagged as inappropriate and removed from YouTube.
That's ridiculous. Yeah.
Not the question that you guys just saw. This was another video posted by NORML.
Right. Now, normally YouTube doesn't do that. We've done a lot of pro-marijuana legalization stories here, and they've never flagged any of that. So that's an interesting outlier. But what's more interesting is President Obama's aversion to this question. Now, the first time he said that he would take questions from an online audience in his presidency, again, marijuana was the top issue. And he did not address it for most of it. And then at the end, he just kind of brushed it off and said, oh, I heard about the marijuana question. And then just went on, like literally laughed it off. But listen, there's a reason why it's the #1 question, because it's not a joke. It's serious. A lot of people are being put in jail for a really long time. In fact, when you total all the numbers, it's millions of people for this nonsense. And, you know, we told you all the problems with the war on drugs. And the guy asking this question is a high-ranking former police officer.
Yep.
And LEAP is a very legitimate organization on a very important issue. And by the way, a majority of Americans now believe that marijuana should be legalized, okay? Medicinal marijuana is nearly 3/4 of the country saying it should be legalized. So answer the question. Now, other parts of the press conference, or I should say the Google Plus meeting that he did, were pretty good. You know, he had some ups and he had some downs. But for him to consistently ignore that issue is annoying, to say the least. But you know Obama. It's not that he might or might not agree with you. And remember, by the way, President Obama also smoked pot, as did President Bush.
Yes, I think that's the most relevant point here, because he has experienced marijuana firsthand. So he knows that it should not be a Class A drug, something that, you know, people spend time in prison for, right? So to me, I feel like if you have smoked weed and you know that it's harmless and you have the actual ability to propose legislation or pass legislation that stops like this crazy process of throwing people behind bars, criminalizing people who are just smoking weed or have possession of weed, and you're not doing anything about it, you have no conscience. You have to do something about it. You have to at least address it.
But what's ironic, of course, is that he doesn't do something about it because of that same exact reason. Because if he said, hey, let's legalize marijuana, or went anywhere, he would never say that. But if he went anywhere near that direction, the Republicans would be like, yeah, well, of course. Here's a black man talking about legalizing marijuana after he smoked marijuana. You know how it is. And so, and look, if you know how I am, I'd steamroll that. I'd be like, yeah, you know what? I am talking about legalizing marijuana because the majority of the country agrees with me, and they should. And here's the secret reports that Nixon shredded that tells you all the way back in the day. And the new reports, by the way, under my administration, which they also buried, that say that it is not harmful and it should be legalized. But President Obama doesn't roll that way.
Right. And
you know,
also,
he rolls in the opposite direction. Whenever there's a fight, he runs from it.
It's not only the fight. Look, it goes beyond the fight. It's the number of people who make money off the war on drugs. He doesn't want to get involved in that drama. And you know, he's not a strong president when it comes to these issues.
You know, somebody online just said, you know, we used to think no drama Obama meant like, oh, he doesn't want the leaks and the internal conflicts, and that was a good thing. It turns out no drama Obama just means
I don't want to deal with the drama.
yeah, like he doesn't like conflict, so he runs away from it. No drama Obama means I don't want confrontation, so if you challenge me, I'm going to give in. I think it was actually one of our viewers on YouTube that had said that. And I think honestly, unfortunately, it's a pretty good point.